I played 70 plus games for 2400 plus hours. Here are my reviews. If you're interested in a specific game, I'll have all the timestamps in the comments pinned. I also really want to make a video titled I beat 10 games that viewers recommended. So, if you have a game that you want me to beat that's not on here, recommend them, please. But first, let me explain what you will be seeing. All my reviews were made on the site HLBT, which is an acronym for How Long to Beat. There will be the game title, my percentage rating, the platform I played on, the time it took me to beat it or played it, my review, says if I completed it or if I'm still playing it, and if it says retired, then that probably means that I'm just not going to play it again. Also, how long ago I made the review. There will be no major spoilers to any of the games, so you don't have to worry about that. And one last thing before we start.
Fun facts.
Had to update the wheel. Here we go. Number 2. Hungry Shark World was the 69th screenshot I took. Nice. And the most exciting spin of all? Ooh, I think we got one. There are 71 reviews total in this video. And since there are 71 reviews total, we gotta get going. First review. Fun game, art style was beautiful, bosses were not that hard, nor were they pushovers. Replay value is low, but definitely worth checking out. The game is on sale all the time, so it should not be hard to find it for a good price. 3.5 years ago. Sundered. Gameplay was great, along with the beautiful areas. The bosses, however, were honestly not very fun and tedious. Don't get me wrong, the bosses looked cool, but they just didn't bring that much to the table. Traversing through the procedurally generated areas and fighting off hordes using the various abilities you unlock through the game make this worth playing. Ooh, this is a good one. Fun fact, I beat this game in one sitting. One of the few games I beat in one sitting. The best Metroidvania I have played thus far. Hollow Knight is a must-play, visually appealing with gameplay to back it up, and a lot of memorable areas, NPCs, and bosses. Ain't that right? Spooky game, better graphics than the first. Will make you jump every now and then. Play this game in the dark for a better experience. Smiley face. The last 2 hours of this game is probably the most intense experience I have had. Scary game. If you enjoyed this one, you will definitely enjoy the second game. Short and sweet game. There's a lot of secrets and side quests for you to do. For the length of the game, a lot. Very laid back experience and requires not much skill at all. Has some fun puzzles and easy bosses. The physics make this game worth it. It's probably less than $1 somewhere. If you are very bored and want some funny physics and want to crash into a CPU and see their car dismantle before your eyes, this is for you. If you like Minesweeper, you have to play this. 3D Minesweeper and works your brain meets. Button smash combat, car that needs some upgrading, and a bunch of areas that need liberating. Good game, has a lot of stuff to do after beating the game. Ending is great, the visuals and gameplay are great. Can't wait to get Little Nightmares 2. Spoiler alert, I'm playing it right now. Laid back Metroidvania, with some exceptions, that excels in the visual aspect. Fun story, check out Will of the Wisp to continue the story. Little person fight a big boss. Nothing much to say. Great game. Try it out sometime if you want a challenge. The game is rather short, but definitely worth buying. Funny game. If you like South Park, then chances are that you will like this game. Geometry Dash, but easier. Fantastic. If you're gonna play it, go in blind. It's worth it. Comma. Free on Steam. If you have some spare time, try it out. A mix of horror, puzzle, and craziness make this game worth playing. Yeah. Love the narration. The multiple endings are awesome. Almost everyone has heard of this game. There's a reason why. Check the game out if you haven't already. What a nice, short, and sweet hidden gem. The ending is great and Benji is a goat. You have 10 seconds to take out some robots in an... Okay. You have 10 seconds to take out some robots in an area using kunai, or sword, to progress to the next stage. Very simple game that is at times frustrating, but also rewarding when you beat a level. Wowza, what a game. 10 out of 10 visuals, cool bosses, hard difficulty but not unfair, soundtrack is awesome. If you are afraid that it'll be too hard, do not back down. It will take time to learn the bosses, moveset, and adapt, but the feeling you get after beating a boss is more than worth it. You do not exactly have to be good at games to play, you just need to be able to observe and adapt. Calm puzzle game. Easy puzzles with a little bit of thinking involved. all-time favorites. A laid-back game with great visuals, snazzy characters, hats, fishing, flying, and a hike that ends with a great conclusion. Play this game no matter what price you buy it for, it's worth it. And I stand by that. Game starts off slow. Give it a chance and you will be happy. Very solid game. The visuals are wonderful, just the gameplay itself is not that great. If this game took on the Metroidvania style and kept the same great visuals and sound, I feel like it would do well. I got this for free on GOG, so I'm not complaining. Eye candy game that does not offer much. Check it out for $2 or less. Very awesome psychological game. Love how there are a lot of little secrets to find throughout the game. Not much to say. Great game and can't wait to play through again soon. 3.5 years ago. Spoiler alert, I didn't play it again. Bosses were very fun. Everything tied together very nicely. And the side quests are very good. There are a lot of illusions and lore if you are into that. Loved it. If you like Metroidvania games and have not played Blasphemous yet, then you need to change that. I haven't played Blasphemous 2 yet, I'm pretty excited for that. If you like the first one, you will definitely like this one. It improves upon everything that the first one did and then some. There are way more NPCs, side quests, it has a base that you rebuild, more customization, better graphics, I don't know how, and much, much more. Great game, must play if you have played the first. Very unique Metroidvania. You play as a little beetle that carries a ball around, traverse the areas in pinball style. There are a lot of secrets and side quests to do. I love side quests. The areas are beautiful and the characters look cool. Only complaint I have is the boss battles were not so great and the ending felt rushed. Visually, this game is a masterpiece. Overall, the gameplay gets slightly repetitive after the first main boss, but the game has a way of still making each area unique to the previous one, if that makes sense. The last hour of this game goes down as one of my favorite game closing runs I've ever played. Truly a great ending to a rather short game that packs a lot of punch. Really good precision platformer. A very large amount of patience is needed. If you do not have that, do not play this game. Everything I want in a Metroidvania. Unique mechanics, awesome areas, fun mobility, and great bosses. Great! The creativity of this game is off the charts. The only complaint I have is I wish there was a larger enemy variety and some mechanics should have been polished. Sticking to walls you do not want to be on is not fun. Besides that everything is done so well. Absolutely must play if you like Metroidvanias. The story is told in a really good way and has some good humor in it. A solid platformer. The story is about saving the dinosaurs from an asteroid, so yeah, it's pretty basic. What makes this game shine are the unlockable cosmetics for your Damn it! Unlockable cosmetics for your station, customizing your dino, and speedrunning levels. The levels are different enough to make them not all feel the same. Mechanically, this game struggles. There's a lot of cheese to be found. The bosses can be killed very quickly if you know the trick, and maneuvering with your dino can be frustrating at times due to the inputs being awkward. I love the hard difficulty that rewards you with the effort you put in, and the cosmetics for your station drove me to scout out all the levels and just push myself in general. Solid game, just wish certain things were polished a little, maybe a lot more. Soundtrack is great. Go off on a post-apocalyptic planet. That is awesome. Only complaint is the time it takes in between putts. Besides, that game is very solid. There is not much story, but I do think that it was enough to like the main character. Nostalgia carries this one. But also the game is really good. The mechanics are definitely outdated, but the bosses and blowing up plagued enemies is amazing. The enemy bosses, unlike many other games, have meaning, and feel like you really have a reason to fight them, making the experience much more enjoyable. It is never too late to get into this game. Just be aware that it is not as advanced as newer games. Duh. Alright, so now it's 12 hours later, so now I can use my Dave voice. But wait, I actually can't, because that would mess up the tone. Elden Ring. Peak. Could it have been better? Yes. But for the time being, you can't find a game of this genre as well made, which is why it has 100. Visually amazing. Soundtrack. Duh. Amazing gameplay, just like the other Souls games, except more mechanics. I could go on and on and on. The only downside is that if you take a break, it is hard to get back into since there's so much going on. Cannot wait for the next game of the year to be made. But it's not better than Dark Souls 2. Truly an underrated game. You get the joy of speedrunning, racing, getting good, map variety, and a good workout while you are at it. With friends is a fun experience as well. I highly recommend this one. Sprint Vector is an amazing VR game. Best one I've ever played. Story mode was fun, just some coolio levels. Play online and make your own levels if you really want to enjoy the game. I played this on Wii. The controls in game is broken at times. Some were nearly unbeatable. I am a seasoned gamer, and this game was fairly difficult because of how jank it is. The story is a little funny, and the ending gave me a giggle. The mini games are fun, just getting The mini games are fun, just getting to them takes forever. If you have this game for some reason, maybe one day try it out. If not, then do no go out of your way to get it. Blow up stuff and protect the babies. Great farming game. Take care of slimes, grow food for your little dudes, decorate your farm, explore the beautiful slime-filled lands, help people with various needs, and more. This game offers a lot of content and is definitely worth the playthrough. Collect some little dudes and collect some little dudes and collect some. Okay, I'm just gonna fucking give up. Collect some little dudes and make them dance as well, and rebuild the town. Good game by itself, but with friends, this game is awesome. Beating up a bunch of enemies and then taking on some funny-looking bosses is always fun with others. I love the platforming and some puzzle-solving elements this game has. Best of all is the level creator. The storytelling is hilarious and never gets old. Hidden Gem, a very unique game that brings a lot to the table for the time you play it. It has boss battles, puzzles, and a rabbit that is fighting a carrot addiction. If you can get this game for less than $3, it is definitely worth it. You can beat the game in around an hour, so you can refund it once you beat it if you buy it on Steam. Same story, just more bosses, achievements, and guns to mess around with. Cannot remember very well. I thought testing out 3D was really cool. However, the classic 2D games will forever look just as good. Lulala! Gotta love the pixel art and headbanging when you find a new weapon. The bosses are fun and interesting, and majority of them share a common theme. You will know after a couple of them. The control is a little weird at times, and the areas are often crammed with enemies, making it nearly unfair at times. The weapons are very interesting and fun to use. There is a new one coming out soon, so that is awesome. Now there's Mechatherium. The game was enjoyable, however, I experienced very little new things. Everything on here has been done before. I enjoyed watching the cinematics for the story, but I did not enjoy the story itself. The ending is lackluster and abrupt. Visually, this game is pretty good, and it is definitely fun to go take over a base. Some of the characters are memorable and funny to listen to. I will definitely not play through this again, but I did enjoy my playthrough. I loved the way the story was told. The voices that follow you and the glyphs you touch that tell a story are cool. The voice acting, story, and sounds are the highlight of this game. I am an open world enjoyer and love games with high replayability, so I am biased. But this game does not offer either of those, and I found myself getting lost looking for glyphs for a puzzle in the game for an extended period of time, even though the game has a very linear path. If you want a semi-laid-back game, difficulty-wise, and love games with rich story and visuals with a little combat, this may be the game for you. Although the driving is a little sloppy in this game, and the graphics are nearly the same as the previous game, this game brings a lot to the table. This is the most diverse racing game I have ever played. After 30 hours of only doing street racing, I finally branched out to the other modes and enjoyed every moment. Learning how to use the different types of vehicles were so fun, and seeing how the maps changed according to the type of vehicle you were using was cool. Taking down the champs gives you a drive to complete a bunch of races, but even without that, I still would enjoy the crew too. A fun game with a simple objective. Kill spiders with fire or bullets, or by bashing them to squish, or whatever other ways you can think of.
The beginning of countless hours sunk into a series of games.
I loved the movement and almost puzzle-like fighting involved. The bosses were horrendous. Will definitely be going back and lowering my deaths and time spent on levels. I kinda did. I didn't really put too much effort into it though. I enjoyed the cake, song, and the twist. This has been done many times, so it is hard to say I am surprised, sadly. Portal system is amazing, especially for its time. Really brings out the monster in me. Love platformers. puts a twist on platforming with the color scheme system it has. The movement is the only thing I complained about, very clunky and lazy feeling. Has very nice pixel art, the movement is good enough, definitely could be worked on. The bosses felt fun to fight and fair. I loved the concept that you had to beat the game in one go. It really made dying after lots of work painful, but drove me to keep playing so I could beat the game. After beating the game in one run, it felt very good and would definitely recommend this game to people who like Metroidvanias and games like The Binding of Isaac. Brought older side scrolls.
Brought older side scrollers to the 2000s, heavily influenced by Contra. Visuals are amazing and the soundtrack is fun. The game bosses are fun to fight and try to stay unique. The game messed around perspectives several times and executed it excellently. You may get a little dizzy, but it's worth it. Only complaint is that it is not long enough and has a couple of clunky areas that are borderline unfair.
Love all the monsters and their art style. Story was not very satisfying, part of the reason being how easy the game was. You fight monsters that are way below the level cap that you have. The map was at times frustrating to maneuver through. However, all the side quests were very fun and satisfying, except for a couple. Excited to see how well the card game does, and whether or not they will release another Monster Crown. Haven't looked into the card game too much, but it looked pretty interesting. Turnip Boy commits tax evasion. Very enjoyable, has lots of rewards for doing simple tasks. A very short and sweet game, definitely worth the couple hours it takes to beat. Cute pony game, definitely nothing else. Lovable characters with some interesting plot points. Game looks really good 13 years after release. Both games are fantastic. Portal 2 simply better though. Very creative and funny puzzles. Everything is not obvious, so at times you will be stuck on things for a little bit longer than you would like. Pixel art is nice, and at first there is a lot of hope for this game to be good. The more you progress, the more you find out how tedious all the tasks are. I loved some of the character stories, however traveling and having to wait days in game for enough resources was tiring. I enjoyed the game, however it felt like a chore to complete. I recommend playing if you want to pass time and have nothing else to do. Fun Metroidvania. Didn't introduce anything new. The game did a great job at rewarding the player as well as brought some fun bosses. Late game ended up being me spamming ground pound since it did an insane amount of damage, which is kind of sad. I enjoyed the game but definitely had a lot of things that could have been done better. This game is hard and just literally unfair at times. However, the beautiful pixel art, soundtrack, creativity, and freshness of each boss makes this game very fun and worth playing, especially if you have beaten Valfaris and want more similar epicness. If you can get over the unfair side of the game and just appreciate it, then you will have a great time. Very solid puzzle game. And that's about it. No crazy style, no story, no secret/rewards, just puzzles that are pretty challenging at times. Ooh. Very satisfying game to get good at. You start off terrible and see a large amount of progress, or maybe you quit and don't see any. Cartoony style is satisfying. Storytelling starts off great and then slowly loses its touch. The revenge is great, but I feel the characters weren't set up enough. Has replayability, would probably get burnt out by 100 hours. If not, then seek help. Oh, looky. A better version of Smash, in my opinion. Smash characters are definitely better, just Brawlhalla gameplay is better. Yeah, read it and weep. Also, if you understand the pain in this picture, that's my peak rating last season. Contains all the knowledge that an Elder Scrolls lover could ever want. The combat is just like other MMOs, however, I do not care. It keeps my want for Elder Scrolls 6 at bay. I enjoyed it. Definitely repetitive and has a weak story with maybe 1 to 2 likable characters. Fun when done in moderation, wouldn't recommend playing for extended periods. Very nice when you want to waste time. I played the mobile version from 2012 forever ago, so this was pretty nostalgic. Aside from that, I won't be touching it after beating the game. The art style and beautifully done ending surpassed all my expectations and are pretty much perfect. The game was fairly slow at times and was very annoying when missing a platform. The gameplay was overall a little clunky, and if that had been good, then this would be a 100%. If you guys are still here, then either you liked Grease or Gree, or you watched the entire video. So, thank you for watching. Please leave a like if you liked the video. This took a very large amount of time and a large amount of effort. Thank you so much. Have a good day. And as always, rock out.